Hi, I'm Sharon Spangler, and welcome to RenoTV. I have a special guest, a very special guest. I have the new governor of the state of Nevada with me. And how long have you been in office now?
Well, thank you first for having me. And I've been on the job for 10 days now.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it been like?
It's been busy. I mean, we're
That's an understatement.
Yes. No, we're working on the budget. We're closing out the budget. I'm working on the state of the state. We had the inaugural preparations. I've put together a new cabinet, a new staff. I've been meeting with the constituencies throughout the state of Nevada. I just sent off 400 guardsmen and women to Afghanistan. So we've been very aggressive and working extremely hard.
I think that the key word with you is optimism.
Yes.
During your whole campaign, I think your slogan was reason to believe again.
Yes.
And which I thought was wonderful. I think it's great that you are keeping this optimistic attitude, and what you talked about all along when you were running was that you're going to create jobs for Nevada.
Yes.
What are your plans to do that?
Well, and first, I'm very proud of our state, and I grew up here. I grew up here in northern Nevada and went to grade school, high school, and the university. So, I have a real passion for our state, and my number one priority, what I talked about during the campaign and now, is economic development and diversifying our economy. Unfortunately, Nevada leads the country in unemployment, so I understand that the first and foremost priority for me is to bring new business to the state of Nevada and to ensure that we have policies that strengthen the businesses that are already here.
Now, you've started some sort of economic development commission where you've put a bunch of key players or brought them all together to work on a number of different areas, including alternative energy.
Well, yes. I mean, the Lieutenant Governor has put together a committee, Lieutenant Governor Kralicki, and he's done a great job at that. I've brought on a new energy director who's going to have her priority is to work on renewable energy. Stacey Crowley is her name, and she's going to do a phenomenal job. And I understand that geothermal energy and solar energy and wind energy, Nevada could be the capital of the United States, if not the world, in terms of renewable energy. And she also has a strong background in green energy and ensuring that homes and things are built right so that we can recognize that we have construction that is compatible with the future.
One of the other things that you have talked about, and you've been very firm in your commitment, that there'll be no new taxes.
Yeah. Yes, and there's a reason for that. The most important thing is the why. And as I mentioned, we lead the United States in unemployment. We lead the United States in foreclosures. We lead the United States in bankruptcies. So I don't know how you can go to struggling Nevada businesses or struggling Nevada families and ask them to pay more taxes. So I think that the state government has to behave just like every Nevada family has, which is to cut back. And one of the things that I had to do that was very difficult is yesterday I made an announcement for state employees that all will be taking a 5% salary reduction. Another thing that I think is important is I won't ask anybody to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. So when I was elected, there was a statutory provision that provided me with a raise, and I've rejected that, and I've also taken a 5% salary reduction myself. So again, there's going to be some shared responsibility in this. We only have $5.3 billion to spend in our state budget. That was a number that was established by the Economic Forum, and I think that our state has to live within its means.
Very similar to what our new city manager did. She started out taking a 15% cut in her own salary because she felt like, if I'm going to be asking other people to take a cut, that I need to set an example. That's very admirable. Our city manager also mentioned that she and other city leaders have met with you.
Yes.
And they feel optimistic that all the state's budget problems aren't going to be laid on the cities to take care of.
Well, another priority for me was to meet with all the different folks and leaders throughout the state. And so I met with the mayors and city managers of the 5 largest cities in the state and had a great opportunity to sit down with them and have some discussions about the state budget process. I understand and appreciate that the local governments have some budget challenges as well, and it was a very, very productive meeting.
Do you think there'll be some things, the unfunded mandates, that'll be passed on to the counties and the city?
Well, I don't know if I'd describe them as unfunded mandates. But what we're looking at is prioritizing and seeing where services are best delivered. And so that's something that we've been very systematic and very thoughtful about. So there may be some services that are currently provided by the state that may be more appropriately provided by local government. I wouldn't say that it's an unfunded mandate. It's to look at how do we best serve our constituencies, because we all share the same people, and I think it's important that we provide them services in the most efficient and accountable manner as possible.
Any examples of things that you think might be better done by the county or the city than the state?
We're looking at those right now. One of the, there's some health services that we're looking at as we speak, and again, we're trying to be very thoughtful about this, but there just comes a time when perhaps there are redundant services that maybe they are better delivered at the local level.
I started this interview saying that Governor Sandoval is very optimistic.
Yes.
And why are you so optimistic?
Well, part of it is I believe in the spirit of Nevada, and I grew up here. And I said during my inaugural speech that Nevada will be Nevada again. I'm tired of being on the top of all the bad lists and the bottom of the good lists. I guess where I get this optimism is in all these meetings that I've had through the course of the campaign and after, since my election on November 2nd. I talked with educators, I met with the superintendents across the state of Nevada. They understand that we need to do a better job. Another poor statistic is that we lead the country in dropout rate. We're last in the country in graduation rates. So they understand that systemically we need to improve the delivery of education, and they're committed to doing that. I've met with the leadership throughout the local governments, and as I said, they understand that we have some challenges, but everybody wants to work together. On the economic development front, there are many companies whose names and contact information I've been provided with, and I'm making these phone calls to them to let them know that the state of Nevada wants you. Interesting statistic, or something I learned yesterday, the state of Illinois raised its taxes by 66%.
Oh my gosh.
And the governor of Wisconsin holds up a sign and says, come on over to Wisconsin. So at a time like, for example, California, where they're being overtaxed, businesses are overtaxed and overregulated, they're looking to relocate because of that. So we have to send the right message that Nevada is going to be very disciplined with regard to how it handles its money, and that we're not going to raise taxes on them, that we're going to have a friendly regulatory structure. So as the optimism comes that we have some pretty substantial companies that are seriously looking at the state of Nevada.
That's good news.
I met with the mining industry yesterday, and there are several mines that may be coming online in the very near future, with gold mines and some rare earth mines and some silver mines. And there's just some permitting, and I'm going to work on that to get them open. That'll be 1,000 jobs, and the average salary for a mining job is between $80,000 and $90,000. So there's a lot of things in the mill that are working that as governor I can help encourage that. So that's why I'm so excited.
I love this guy's energy. People say that you got into this because you really want to serve your state. And a lot of people think, oh my gosh, why did he do this? He had a job for life.
No, and it was a difficult decision. I was a federal judge, and yes, it was a lifetime appointment, and I enjoyed sitting on the bench. I sat here in Reno as well as in Las Vegas, but as I said, I love my state, and I was very concerned about the direction that we were going, so I felt that it was a very small sacrifice to give up a lifetime appointment to have an opportunity to serve the people of the state of Nevada. Now, it's not going to be easy, and yes, I'm very optimistic and I'm very excited, but I'm also understand that there are some difficult decisions ahead and probably some unpopular decisions ahead, but I truly believe that those decisions will lead to a better future for the people of the state.
I wish you a lot of luck in your new job. I really do. And thank you for being on our program.
No, it's a great opportunity for me, and I'm very humbled that you asked me to be on, and I'm looking forward to serving the people of Northern Nevada as well as the entire state.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us.